Alright. Hello, everybody. It is me, Golden Devin-Foxy, remastered again. And I just want to say I just want to talk to you guys something about what really happened about part 1. That was called, The Visitor Massacre at Camp Happy, part 1. Now, for those again on the live stream, I want to mention anyway that yes, it was from 2019, and of course, yet than any other, I'm going to get to that any second to explain it. So, just as pretty much as is last time, all I'm going to say is just as from last time that I'll have to mention anyway is what really happened to part 1 of, pretty much is like the game I was playing that was like the red alien worm exactly. So, for those again who do not know about the game, apparently, it's a game about where an alien that is like an alien worm that's like red and creepy, it tries to devour or, tries to kill pretty much people in the game exactly. And of course, I was doing it on a live stream, which was pretty a bit interesting to say at the least, which, do I have to admit, it was a little creepy? Well, yes, it was a little creepy, but I think it was kind of alright with me a little bit because I think it was just a bit of an interesting game a little bit, just to know the facts that it was a little interesting. That's all I had to pretty much mention anyways. So, yeah, it's gonna be another conversation story that I probably did want to get to the conversation about. So, for those again who may start asking me a little bit by saying is like, "Oh, dude, what happened to your part 1 live stream? Where did it go?" Well, I'll tell you where it went. It was obviously that the stream apparently got removed, and I'm like, WTF? Like, I don't know why at this point. All I'm gonna have to say is that, I'm not gonna try to battle it too much because I don't want to probably just go on too many times to just like say like, "Oh, why are you talking about YouTube so much?" Well, I'm not trying to because I'm trying to be smart with my words a little bit. That way I wouldn't have to just continue to keep on yada 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 the whole time because again, all I'm saying is that look, it's teens and adults that my channel has always been that way, and it's always going to be that way, and it's never for children or kids to watch my content. That's all I'm going to say. And yes, I think one person specifically that was trying to pretty much, oh, I don't know, have like have the stream removed, and I'm like, what the hell? So, I just don't get why sometimes it's just that, dude, I literally worked a lot of my ass for videos like these and streams like these because they're not a joke. Like, I actually made the videos as I actually can because it's like it's like art, It's like art of master. It's art like pieces. Like it's the master of the master has been like created by me because seriously, I actually worked on the stream as I actually did in 2019. And plus, it was back at my dad's house when I did that stream a while back, in 2019. Like, oh man. For some reason, I just don't get why at this point. It just makes me a bit pissed because it just kind of makes me mad because, seriously, I worked a lot of my behind off every single time on the stream as I make them because, it's like you gotta go and try to like watch a stream or something like that. You gotta like go ahead and just like watch the stream apparently of how I just do all the puzzles and all of the shit and stuff. Like, seriously, I do lots of work. That I actually put my whole life into that work of part 1 because basically, it was a continuation of the Massacre Camp Happy. That's just the point, all I'm saying exactly. Like, it was continuation by continuation because, I mean, let me just go ahead and explain this to everybody exactly for what just happened about in part 1 is that, okay, so first on, all I want to mention about, by the way, that the Wi-Fi out there was pretty bad because it was not working properly, or it was just taking a amount of time and pleasure because I don't know. It just depends on the signal bar. Exactly, that depends on what the bar is at right by the any chance anyway. So all I want to say is that it's just it's just really sad. It really is sad because I actually worked part one a lot, basically, because I worked my whole life in part one while doing, the visitor mascara, exactly, by saying is like, pretty much something that has to do with like the character that has to pretty much be the blood alien worm, exactly, because it's supposed to be an alien worm that's supposed to probably, like, I don't know, scare the hell the half of the death of the people exactly in the game. Just game. That's all I'm saying. It's just the game. It has nothing to do with real life and nothing else. Because I've been pretty responsible and clarified to be responsible, to be very aware that I'm saying again, it's only from the game. Nothing to do with anything else. Because, I just want people to understand about how the games kind of work a little bit, just to kind of understand between two interesting facts by saying is like game versus real life. Because at this point, it's just that I actually really worked part one because without doing part one, I think it was way back on somewhere like, hold on, let me just check on like my channel and stuff. Let me check on that for a sec. So, all I'm going to say is that I did the stream back at April 6th, 2019, and I did so on part one because apparently for those, again, who actually didn't see part one up there, yeah, it got either removed by YouTube or just an unknown figure that removed the video for some reason, which, I actually do know the person's name that's on the hate list, but it's just a different person, that's all I'm saying. So, again, it just makes zero sense. Like, I literally worked on the video for how much long I've actually made that video in 2019 because it was supposed to be a good, interesting video of a stream I ever made because, in fact, I actually was trying to actually just go through how the steps go by because, I was getting stuck trouble a little bit trying to figure out how to even win the game because that's where I was stuck. Because for those, again, who actually may tell me by saying is like, oh, why were you stuck on a few bit of like the paths that you were stuck on the game? First of all, I didn't really know how I played the game. I just tried to figure it out a little bit of the tutorial that I'm just trying to say with the ton, that I'm just trying to use the word tutorial, that I was only trying to go through by tutorial. Well, I had to watch through Markiplier's video because I, again, was trying to see if anything that would make sense because, I was just trying to look through what he said, exactly how I have to win it, because I just had to pay attention, while doing subtitles and pay attention. And of course, mute the game while I had to listen to it and see if it made any sense or not, because that's what I was trying to figure out. Because for those, again, I've actually was trying to figure out to get a few other campers, while I was playing the red blood alien, apparently. That was like the worm alien, I think, at this point. So that's what I was trying to figure out, and that's what I was trying to do. And yes, were a few jump scares pretty bit violent? Well, yes, it was pretty violent, but all I'm saying again, it was just a game. That's it. Just nothing of a big deal to go on about. Like, seriously, I worked through part one all the way to part three. That's all I gotta say. For those, again, who want to, like, tell me what even really happened, well, it got removed by either a YouTube or just a different person that came out to remove it for some reason. Because I'm like, dude, I worked that shit off since 2019 because it isn't that cool. Because I actually worked very well to have that stream interesting, very good. It wasn't supposed to pretty much, you know, not try to scare too many people off from the game by saying is like, oh, the game's bad. Well, it wasn't bad. It was actually a bit of an alright based of a game that was ever existed to be played. So I don't know what's even so emotional even about, because I don't know why. It just makes zero sense about it. So anyway, I'm just trying to use my words carefully so that way the bot doesn't trigger anyways, how I'm just trying to say. So that's all I'm trying to say as of right now. And yes, this is just a bit of another news I actually definitely wanted to kind of talk about here a little bit, because it's just kind of a bit bonkers if you pretty much have to believe that, because it's kind of bonkers. So for those again, why part one was gone, it was just those two examples that was just going on about that. So again, for those who want to watch part 2 and part 3 of the live stream since 2019 on April, then feel free to watch it, because, you know, just feel free to watch it. So, yeah. Anyways, that being said alone, I probably want to explain this for everybody's sake and just understand what happened to part 1 of the stream and why it was gone. So, yeah. Anywho, that being said, I just want you guys to understand what happened and what was going on, basically, because it just really sucks. Like, dude, it just really sucks, because again, it just really sucks, man. I just don't get what's with that anyway. Anyways. And yeah, for those who pay attention in the last video, by the way, of part 3 that was also age restricted, yeah, not pretty cool on that kind of part. Not pretty cool. So, it was just about the age restricted. For the first time, I never seen like an age restricted thing exactly, which, it was the first time I never seen it before that YouTube ever decided to age restrict the video for the first time, which I never expected that to be the case, but, this was just the first time I never noticed, so that's all I gotta say. And also, I probably won't be talking about YouTube for that long, for basically, since I am making this one video to explain what happened with the stream and why it's gone, based on my case and based on the conversation I want to go on about, and just explain what the game's even about the red worm blood alien, because it's just, yeah, I just don't get it. But for those again who want to like just tell me, by the way, that YouTube should have told me, by the way, it's just like, just either censored all censor most of the, if that's ever the case, they could have just told me about that. But instead, I probably don't know why, but I'm not going to make any offenses. That's all. Anyways, that being said, I hope to say this anyways again, that I'll have to say otherwise, that I'll mention about the 700 subscriber special, and yes, it's going to be another bad news anyway, that it's going to be delayed the second time. About the FNAF Season Plush is going to be delayed again the second time, but just remember, by the way, it's not going anywhere above any numbers that are higher to delay anything. So, for those again, this is just going to be a second time of delay of pretty much the subscriber goal of 700, since, well, that, by the way, the case is going to be explained very, very, very explained by me. And yes, the same story is going to still happen, by the way, but it's just going to be my side of the story and explain what's even going on about. So, pretty much. Anyways, that being said, thank you guys for watching, and this is Devin-Foxy Remastered again, and we'll see you guys absolutely in the next video, and sign right off. So, thanks for watching, and sign out, I suppose. And bye-bye. See you next time.